Hi, welcome back. So in this chapter, we are going to be learning a little bit about the brain. Okay, and I have an interesting question for you. How many brains do we have? People have started wondering, how many brains do we have? Well, I'll give you the options. Okay, I've got four options: one, two, three, none. Okay, I'm sure some of you are saying that none, because we know some people who don't have brains. But yeah, what's your answer? Now, some people might say two, considering the left and the right brain, and that's a school of thought. But that school of thought only is limited to the concept of left brain controlling the right side of your body and the right brain controlling the left side of the body. But I'll tell you one fact. A girl actually, and this is a true story, a girl once had an accident and her brain was damaged. They had to remove the right side and a majority part of the right side of the brain. You would expect that the left side of the body would get completely paralyzed, and that's true. It got paralyzed. But you know what? In the next 6 months, magic happened. The entire brain actually took up the responsibility for the entire body, and you could see some movements, on the left side. And in a matter of 2 years, she was able to move quite well. So yeah, the concept, neuroscientists have actually refuted this concept of the left and right brain for quite some time now. So today we are going to go with the answer 3, and we are going to call it the triune brain. Now you'll say, okay, where are these 3 brains? Is it 1, 2, 3? It's not like that. These 3 brains are there inside your cranium. It's one brain with 3 parts. Okay, and I'm going to be demonstrating this to you in a very simple way. If you can hold your hand like this and do like this, and might as well do this. Okay, you do this. Okay, this is kind of your brain. Okay, and so the first part lies here. Okay, the second part here. Okay, and the third part is here. And I'm going to be naming all these parts, and I'm going to be explaining to you what do these 3 parts do. Now here's the first thing. How many senses do we have? We have 5 senses, and those of you who believe that there are 6 senses, that 6th sense is actually intuition. We can take that as well, as a part of our senses. So data from around us goes into our 5 senses, and through our 5 senses it goes into the brain where it is processed. I'm not going to go into the details of how it is processed, but now this part of the brain over here, this part which immediately connects to your spinal cord, that's called the reptilian brain, and that's kind of the reactive brain. So if somebody was to push you, what would happen is you would instantly, reactively, the reflex action is that you would hold on to something so that, because you don't want to fall. Now this reptilian brain actually takes care of all your reactions, the unconscious activities, the physiological activities like breathing and digestion, and all these physiological activities. Now you're doing all of that unconsciously. You're not actually thinking and breathing, is it? And it also reacts. So it's called the reactive brain, the reptilian brain. Now just above that, somewhere over here is the emotional brain. So first of all, quite logically, the data, when it goes into your brain through 5 senses, it obviously has to first go into the reptilian brain, because the reptilian brain is actually scanning the environment for any kind of danger. Okay, then it flows into the emotional brain, which is right here. Okay, so let me get this right. It's right here, and that's where the thalamus lies, and then the emotions, the chemicals of emotions are released and they are flushed into your body. Now what has happened is, there's an event, okay, goes into your system through the 5 senses, goes to the reptilian brain, goes to the emotional brain, and then you feel something about the event. And finally it reaches here, which is called the thinking brain or the neo-mammalian brain. By the way, the emotional brain is called the paleo-mammalian brain, and this brain over here, the prefrontal cortex, is the thinking brain. Now this brain, this thinking brain, is all about analysis, logic, practicality, rationality, and the data actually reaches quite late over there. After it's gone through the reactive brain to the emotional brain, and finally it reaches the thinking brain. Now, do you realize why some people are reactive or emotionally driven? Because they don't give a chance that much time for the data to reach the thinking brain. That is why whenever you have this urge of reacting, where you have a chance of responding, okay, where you have a choice of responding, and you feel like reacting, just step away, give yourself some time, think about various ways that you can handle the current situation, and logic and the practicality will take over, isn't it? So that's all about the brain and its architecture. In the next module, in the next chapter, I'll be discussing with you the ways of reducing your reactive or reducing your reactions and how you can be more responsive. Remember, reactions are not always bad, especially when it comes to saving yourself from any dangerous situation, right? But yeah, when it comes to dealing with people, it's always good that you are responsive. So let's go into the next chapter and think about and learn about how you can be more responsive rather than being reactive.